Hello and welcome to this latest edition of Pompey Talk. My name is Mark McMahon and joining me today to discuss Pompey's 2-all draw with Oxford at Fratton Park on Easter Monday is the News' Neil Allen. Neil, under the circumstances, was that a big point gained or still 2 points dropped?
Before the game, if you said that Pompey were going to draw against Oxford, you'd be disappointed. You say it was 2 points dropped. John Messina very rightly described it as must win. And I've said written several times it's a must win. Pompey have to beat Oxford and Leicester at home to help them stay up. However, if you put the game into context and bearing in mind we cannot predict a rotten refereeing display, including a red card and a non-red card and whatever transpired in that match. You can't predict things like that, the variables. Taking that into context, you have to say it's a good point because especially Pompey came from behind as well. 10 men for 73 minutes. You have to take that into account and when assessing a game. And I think everyone there yesterday will agree the referee was really poor, and Pompey fought tooth and nail to get something out of that game. And the players deserve a lot of respect and a lot of praise for their performance, their effort, their endeavour. And they're only two subs used as well. I think if people were doubting them after QPR, and rightly so, we saw at Norwich and even more against Oxford that this team are fighting for this shirt.
Yeah, no, we'll touch on that in a wee bit. But before we do, the status quo at the bottom of the table remained the same with results elsewhere. And I'm sure there's a lot of fans who took great delight in seeing Leicester only salvaging a draw against the already relegated Sheffield Wednesday. Again, at 3 o'clock yesterday, there might have been a few down in the dumps, but at least that there gives some fans a little bit of hope, I suppose, later on Monday afternoon.
Yeah, I've seen some people saying that Pompey definitely going down. But again, Pompey are 1 point above the relegation zone with a game in hand. Leicester and Oxford would love to be in that position.
Yeah.
It's in Pompey's hands. I mean, we know the game in hand is at home against a very good Ipswich side, but they've still got a game in hand and a potential 3 points there. And they've actually got that additional point on the board. So other clubs below them would love to be in that position. It's in Pompey's hands. They have 5 games left. Pompey have 6, and Pompey are 1 point above them. So as it stands at this moment in time, this is a strong position for Pompey to be in. It really is. You'd rather be in this position with Pompey, surely, than Oxford or Leicester. Well, Leicester have now played Sheffield Wednesday. That was one of their trump cards.
Yeah.
Leicester have got 5 games left, and they're below Pompey with a game in hand. Pompey are in a strong position.
And Pompey still have their destiny in their own hands as well, which neither Leicester or Oxford can even have at this moment in time. Like,
no, they're relying on them doing well and Pompey slipping up, aren't they?
Yeah.
They'll be looking at their results going, hope Pompey slip up today. Pompey just have to keep getting their own results. And if Pompey can pick up a couple of wins from somewhere, that will still drag Blackburn and West Brom into it.
Yeah.
So there's still time, and I know Middlesbrough away is tough, but I looked at their record yesterday, and they haven't won 5 games at home, Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
So you can say on the flip side that it's going to change sooner or later. It's going to change against Pompey, but you've got to look at all those fixtures. And Pompey got Coventry away. Coventry need 4 points to win promotion. If Pompey had won them before they played Pompey, that would help. Yeah. And again, I've said this for a while. I think Birmingham at home, last game of the season, is a good fixture for Pompey.
Yeah. It's their season's dead and buried. They're not vying for promotion or anything we got there. They'll be on the beach, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Fratton Park, last game of the season, Pompey need to win to stay up or a point to stay up or whatever. You can imagine what it's been like. It's a real strong position to be in that particular game as well. Even though it's big spend in Birmingham, who incidentally have got nowhere near the playoffs. So their results have dipped dramatically in the last few games. I know they felt hard done by not to get something from Ipswich, but they've not been doing very well recently. What's they going to be like at the end of the season when there's nothing for them to play for?
Yeah, yeah. You've already touched on, we all know the circumstances that led to Pompey being in that difficult position with what 10 minutes to go against Oxford. What is your thoughts on the red card? Again, you've already intimated about the referee, but yeah, what was your thoughts on the actual red card itself? Conor will be sent off in the 17th minute for fouling Stanley Mills.
It's about how you apply the laws, isn't it? Is it reckless? I would say it's a reckless challenge. So that's a booking. Does it endanger the opposition player? I'm not sure it really endangers him, does it? And he got the ball as well. So you've got that one, which again, it just looks harsh, doesn't it? But I can see why they would, if probably put an appeal, and I can see why they would fail their appeal because some angles look worse than others.
Yeah.
Then you've got the other one, which is Brody Spencer, which nobody can possibly justify that one. Nobody. I know.
Yeah.
I've seen social media and Oxford fans are going, "Wow, it's your own fault." No, somebody, it was definitely a red card for Ogilvie. All right, what about that one? And no one can respond to that. Nobody can justify that. On a yellow, Ogilvie cuts across him. Very cleverly, by the way, from Ogilvie.
Devlin cuts across him.
Devlin. Ogilvie's on the pitch, you see. Devlin cuts across him. Ogilvie in the mind here. Devlin cuts across him incredibly intelligently. He looks to see where he is to win the foul. And Spencer's nowhere near the ball and takes the man out. Nowhere near it. Collides with him. Nowhere near the ball. It's well ahead of him. And he's steaming down the wing. If he hadn't been booked in the first place, that would have been a booking.
Yeah.
So why has he not been booked for that?
Yeah.
It's an appalling decision. And Pompey's players were rightly incensed, and the manager was incensed afterwards. And then, make matters worse, Marlon Pat was booked straight after. Although I thought he deserved to be booked straight after. He went into the man with his elbow, didn't he?
Exactly.
I know somebody in the press box thought that was harsh and Marlon shouldn't get booked, but he needed to be booked for that. He knew exactly what he was doing. He saw the red mist as well. So I don't subscribe to poor Marlon Pat's being victimised here. That was a yellow card. Yeah, and honestly, some of the press box were some people behind me. I won't say who sits behind me. We're very happy that Marlon was booked there, but that was a booking all day long. So suddenly in the 63rd minute, it should have been down to 10 men all, and the referee overlooks it, and naturally Oxford straight away get him off, get somebody else on.
Somebody could turn around and say Pompey did the exact same against Norwich. Then they took Caballero off. So again, it swings and roundabouts, I suppose.
Yeah, well, Pack and Caballero played on for a long time in the first half when they're on a yellow.
Yeah.
And Pack had his final warning early in the first half as well. So yeah, it was frustrating. Just sums up the performance of the referee, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and that has consequences for Pompey, obviously, too, because Ogilvie could have a 3-game ban depending on the outcome of that appeal. But yeah, it means then Pompey are all of a sudden got a massive headache at left back with Zach Swanson, who's stood in there very, very well during Ogilvie's time at centre half. He's not available. We all know he's out injured at the moment. So again, it's just something else then, the sort of way, make life hard for Pompey to win the survival battle.
Do you know what? I turned around and said to Jordan, I think I said to Neil Weld actually from the club, and Jordan as well in the game. Pompey haven't had any luck this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that Pompey are down in the position they are because they've been lucky. Not saying that whatsoever. But you just, in recent weeks, we saw West Brom suddenly. West Brom were playing again. Were they playing Hull? And Hull went down to 10 men. And we saw Blackburn at Millwall. Millwall were winning and went down to 10 men. And Blackburn won. And the Millwall sending off was later rescinded on appeal. And yesterday, Oxford. Pompey get a player sent off controversially in the 17th minute, giving Oxford help. Pompey haven't had anything like that at all, really. Pompey have been giving goals away as well this season, isn't it? But no one's really given Pompey any goals, have they? No one really. And this is not okay. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying that poor lucky Pompey, it's not fair. It's not their fault. They've been so hard done by. I'm not saying that at all. Pompey are aware that they are where they are. they've not been good enough. There's been injuries. They've not strengthened certain positions. They are where they are, as the league table always is correct. I'm just saying that they just not haven't had a lot of luck, have they, really? And it just occurred to me, Oxford had a bit of luck today. Why can't Pompey had an opposition player sent off or gifted a silly goal like Segasic caught in possession, or or dubious penalty decision in Pompey's favour? I mean, Pompey had one penalty a season, haven't they? Nothing's really happened in their favour. And
Yeah.
now Ogilvie, he's missing the 3 of the last 6 games. Adams hopefully is back, one of their star performers. It's just nothing appears to be going Pompey's way, does it really?
Yeah.
You could argue about the own goal at Norwich. Although Paul was lurking around there as well anyway.
Yeah, he would have scored it.
Yeah, so it's just that weekend when the 2 of their relegation rivals end up playing against 10 men. Doesn't happen to Pompey, does it?
No. But then nothing goes, you said nothing goes Pompey's ways, but look at Kessie Anderson's return. His full debut for Pompey yesterday. What an impact he had. I have to admit, I thought he was very, very impressive yesterday. And even though you didn't want him to be taken off, you understood the decision to take him off because we need him for the remaining games, don't we?
I was baffled how sponsors made Dazelle man of the match.
Yeah.
I thought Dazelle was very well and obviously got the equaliser. But Kessie Anderson was outstanding. Not only that goal was the goal in the 9th minute, but also the way he just retained the ball, his driving runs. Several times he put these lovely little reverse passes inside of fullbacks. He did that to Williams, actually, in the first half, and Williams was clean through and slightly hesitated, and the keeper got there just before him. And then there was another great moment in the first half when Pompey were down to 10 men. He took the ball and he ran across the pitch with a bit of skill, going past several players just to retain possession before stopping, spinning around and laying it off to a player of his team. So it's just really clever stuff. I thought he's a breath of fresh air. But he's a real character around the place. No doubt, huge influence in the dressing room as well. And his experience. It was his birthday, 31st birthday yesterday. And he brought so much. Probably struggled with wingers this season massively, and he brought so much. And by the way, Caballero, that's his best all-round performance for Pompey as well.
Definitely. He carried the ball with purpose and pace, and like sometimes the Oxford defenders didn't know how to cope with him. All it needed was like a final ball in the box. I thought, I agree with you completely. I thought he played very well on Monday.
Yeah, so you had 2 wingers flying in that game. So obviously Ali was dropped to the bench, rightly so, because his performance has been horrendous for a good month or so. But yeah, so really impressed by Kessie Anderson. And again, you talk about bad luck. He's injured for Pompey 15 days with his new club. Yeah. It's just crazy, isn't it? And then he's out for 2 months. John Messina has finally got options from the bench as well. And Millie Ali, it works both ways when he came on, didn't he?
Well, you know what, I was going to ask you about Millie Ali, because I think me and you both spoke before we come on here how much at fault he was for Oxford's second goal, but then 10 minutes later or whatever, he's up at the other end of the pitch and supplies that ball for Andre Dazelle. So
yeah, he's just their centre half was up there, and he rolled him far too easy. Yeah. In fact, Ali actually then runs away from him. So the centre half looks up and pings in a beautiful cross, unchallenged, because Millie Ali's first had been rolled off too easy and then run away. A beautiful cross, which Lancashire does a flying header, and it's a goal. That was poor from Pompey as well. And he'd been on less than 60 seconds after replacing Anderson. But then Ali went to the other end 7 minutes later, pulled it back, and there was Dazelle to first time finish into the net.
Yeah. Can you see Pompey? I know there's a bit random one already, but can you see Pompey offering him a contract if there's an agreement with Luton for next season, or again is the jury still out on Ali?
It's frustrating because he set the bar very high when he came in, and you've seen him depreciate massively. Just looks a different player.
Yeah.
So when he first came in, you thought, right, probably need to sign him permanently. And Rich Hughes says, we're looking at it definitely. I wouldn't sign him at the moment. No chance. At the moment, unless there's a good end of the season. But then you're still questioning, well, how erratic is he again? Wingers tend to be erratic, but he's all over the place in that respect. So if he's gone from high to low, if he ever goes back up high again, what are you going to get from him? You just don't know. So at this moment in time, I wouldn't sign him. At this moment,
Interesting.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But it can change. I'm not saying don't sign, definitely don't sign. It can change. He might have a good final 6 games, and then end of the season we'll go and sign him, bring him on. Brilliant.
Do you think we're in a similar situation with Keshe Anderson? Again, had such a great game. Miller had such a great impact with Pompey when he first arrived, but it went off the boil. Are we going to be guilty of expecting too much from Keshe Anderson over the next final weeks?
Well, if you remember, after QPR, I did a piece of video and I also wrote it in my verdict. I mentioned that Pompey need a hero from somewhere. Who's left to come back?
Yeah.
And I said the only 2 left to come back are Keshe Anderson and Andre Dozzell. That's it. That's all. So who's again? I said at the time, who's coming over the horizon to save the day? They're the only 2. You're pinning your hopes on those 2 transforming a team. They both scored, obviously, against Oxford. If Keshe Anderson can stay fit, yeah, hopefully, because he gave Pompey something they've not had for a long time from wings. So hopefully, we're definitely pinning our hopes on Anderson. Just get him out there playing games regularly. But that was his first start since New Year's Day when he was at Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
He's not started many games. It's only his 4th appearance for Pompey since arriving in January. So they've got to look after him as well. But other injured players, there's no one else really to come in for the injured players, is there? That can change things and improve them. So hopefully he can be the difference.
Yeah. Okay then. You mentioned already the resolve, the fight back, the grit, determination Pompey had in the final stage of that game against Oxford. We've seen it again against Norwich when they salvaged the ball there. How important is it that Pompey are displaying that, especially 3 weeks ago, whenever they just folded completely against QPR? It's good for John Messina to see this, isn't it?
Yeah, QPR, again, I said at the time, QPR was like a perfect storm. Everything went wrong in that game. It exposed all their flaws. It just happened in one match. And before then, I don't think Pompey have been playing badly. They've just not been looking like scoring goals, not creating goals. But defensively, they've been reasonably solid and there have been some good performances in midfield. And then it just imploded on that day. So it's looking like a blip at this stage, isn't it, really? Because the response has been decent since. I'm still concerned about Nico Smith, about his performances this season. He's not the player he was last season. And another mistake from him yesterday, wasn't there? It's great seeing Shocknessy back. Centre midfield, Adams is coming back soon. So that will help Pompey, won't it? But they've still got the issue of scoring goals. The stat is that never in Pompey's history has the leading scorer scored fewer than 7 goals. 76 is 6, that's it. Bishop's got 3. So they've still got the scoring issues in those positions. There's still problems there. But definitely after the debacle at QPR, we've now seen heart, passion, desire, players fighting for the shirt, which is what Pompey need to do in this situation. So I'm encouraged by that.
No, definitely. And on that note, on that positive note, let's wrap it up. I think my dog's just about to start barking again. So yeah.
Are you in a shed?
I'm in a garden room. It's not a shed, Neil. It's a garden room.
Okay.
But anyway, thank you for your time. Thank you all for watching again. We'll be back again soon. Until then, goodbye.